Good morning friends, welcome back to my channel Coding Environment. This video will be the continuation of the last video where we have seen what is factory design pattern. In this we are going to see what is abstract factory design pattern. So the topics in this video I am going to cover are what is abstract design pattern, UML diagram for an abstract factory design pattern, followed by a code example. So let's see what is abstract factory design pattern. The abstract factory design pattern provides a way to encapsulate a group of individual factories that have a common theme without specifying their concrete classes. So the things which we have to note in this definition, which I have taken from Wikipedia, is that it provides a way to encapsulate a group of individual factories. So what does it mean? It means that it is nothing but a group of individual factories, or we can say a factory of factories. But there should be some common theme in these factories. So these factories can't be individual or independent factories. There has to be some common theme in these factories which will form a group of factories. And these factories is not going to specify their concrete classes also. If I have to simplify this, I can say that abstract factory pattern works around a super factory which creates other factories. Also, this factory is called as a factory of factories because it creates a group of factories, and this type of design pattern, which is abstract factory design pattern, comes under the creational design pattern. Now let's try to implement this abstract factory pattern using an example. So in this you can see I have taken some example. Let me go through this block diagrams. So in this, if you are seeing, this yellow one is nothing but it's a driver for that abstract factory design pattern. In this we have a factory producer also, which, so if you see, there is a shape interface and we have 4 different concrete classes for this shape interface. So here you can see there is an equilateral triangle and right angle triangle which belongs to this factory. So these two belongs to this factory. And there is a circle factory and we have a semicircle and a full and we have a semicircle and a full circle concrete class which belongs to this factory. So if you see how these things, so if you see how these blocks are interconnected, is like my driver code is going to use this producer, factory producer, and this is going to return basically abstract factory. It has a method called get factory. Now in this get factory, if this abstract factory are going to see, this is going to get the shape, and how this abstract factory is going to use this triangle factory and circle factory to get the different shapes by using this interface, we are going to see in this abstract factory. So let's move into the code and see how these things we can achieve. So the first thing to implement abstract factory is we have to create an interface. Interface was nothing but this common part. This common thing which we have to do is like create an interface. So here I have created an interface shape. You can see it here. And then I have 4 concrete classes for this interface. So basically my equilateral triangle is implementing this shape, and then again my right angle triangle is implementing the shape. Similarly, this full circle implements the shape and this semicircle also implements the shape. So let's go back into the figure, and here you can see this shape was an interface, right? And I have 4 concrete classes which is basically implementing this shape. So you can see this. Now let's move into the second step. So the second step in this is we have to create an abstract factory. So this belongs to which block in this figure? This is the one, this abstract factory which we are creating in the step 2. So here you can assume that this is your step 2. Okay, and this I have created as a step 1. Okay, now in the step 2 we are going to create this abstract factory. So in this abstract factory you can see what we have here is an abstract class, and in this we have a get shape method, right? So here in this block you can see we have a get shape method. So your factory producer is going to use this abstract factory to get these shapes, which is equilateral triangle or right angle triangle and semicircle and full circle. Let's see how we can achieve that one. So now first what we did, we created a shape, and then we created 4 concrete classes for this shape. Now in this we created first one abstract factory, and then we created 2 factories. One is circle factory and the other is triangle factory, and you can see both factory extend this abstract factory. Okay, and based on the shape type, like you want it as a full or you want it as a semi, it is going to create those concrete classes. So if you pass as a full in this get shape method, it is going to create a full circle, and if you pass it as a semi, it is going to create a semicircle. Similarly, in this triangle also, if you pass the shape type as a right angle triangle, it is going to create a right angle triangle here, and if you pass it as equilateral, it is going to create an equilateral triangle. So this is the things. Now let's see how these things are interconnected. So we have a driver class also, which is in this block. You can see this is the driver class. So this part is nothing but your driver, right? So this is your driver class. Now this driver class is basically using this. So this driver class is basically using your, say here, abstract factory. So here we have a driver class, right? Now we have a factory producer class also. So this factory producer class, if you see, it is actually going and getting the factory. So using this get factory, it is going and creating the object of this factory. So here we have 2 factories, right? So here we have 2 factories. One is the circle factory and the other one is the triangle factory. Now if you pass circle as a true, it is going to create a circle triangle. It is going to create a circle factory, else it is going to create a triangle factory. Now if you go in this code, you can see it here that this, using this get factory, if you pass true, it is going to create a shape object right here, this part. Now can you assume what is this object shape factory will contain? This will contain the circle one. So this one, because you are passing it true, and the circle is going to be true here, and it is going to create a circle object. So once you create that circle object, circle.getShape, and if you pass semi, it will create a semicircle object, and if you pass it as a full, it is going to create a full circle object. Similarly, if you pass it as a false, here in this case it is going to create the triangle object, and if you pass it as an equilateral, it is going to create the equilateral triangle, and if you pass it as a right angle, it is going to create the right angle triangle. So this is all about your abstract factory pattern. Now let's run this code on Eclipse and see how these things are getting executed. So moving on to the Eclipse now. So for the sake of the time, I have already written those abstract classes and the interfaces in this Eclipse, and we can directly run this code also, but let me go through once what all the classes and interfaces I have created. So as the first step, we had to create this shape interface, right? So in the shape interface, we have seen that we have a draw method, and after shape, we have 4 concrete classes which implements this shape interface. So here you can see I have equilateral triangle, and then I have full circle, semicircle, and right angle triangle. So you can see here full circle, semicircle, and then right angle triangle. So this is one interface and all this 4 implementation. After that, what we had to do, the second step was to create an abstract factory, right? So I have created an abstract factory class, and then in this we are going to get the shape, right? But this abstract factory was getting extended by our circle factory and a triangle factory. In this circle and the triangle factory, we have a method called getShape, and based on the shape type, it is going to create a right angle triangle or an equilateral triangle. So here you can see we have a shape full, semi, and then triangle also, right angle triangle and equilateral triangle. Then we have a factory producer which will create the object of these factories. So based on the circle, you are passing it as a true or false. It is going to create the circle object, or else it is going to create the triangle object. And then we have a driver code to run all these things. So let's run this code in debug mode so that we can see the things in slow motion and see how these things are getting executed. So let's run this code into the debug mode. Now here you can see it is going to create a get factory. So it is going to create either the circle or the triangle factory. But as you are passing it here as a true, it is going to create a circle factory. So here you can see the safe factory is nothing but a circle factory, right? Now once you pass it as a semi, it is going to create a semicircle. So if I do same shape1.draw, it is saying that it's a semicircle, right? Similarly, if you are going to pass it as a full, it is going to create a full circle. Now in this section, if you go and see, you are passing it as a false, right? So what will this shape factory 1 object type? It will be triangle. So let's see. This is the shape 1 factory. So this is the shape factory 1, and this triangle is the type, right? So shape factory 1 has a triangle type. And now again, if you pass the equilateral, it is going to create an equilateral triangle. And if you pass it as a rectangle, it is going to create a rectangle triangle. So here you can see we have two factors. One is circle and one is triangle. And then we have an abstract factory. So this is the one. So grouping two or more than two factors into one, having one common theme, which is in this case was shape, is nothing but an abstract factory design pattern. So hope you liked this video. If you have any doubt, you can write it in comment section. I will try to answer it. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel and stay connected. Till then, have a great day and goodbye.